All right, everyone, welcome to this Upcomers live stream. My name is Taryn Ray Smith. You can call me Taryn. First off, I'd like to thank Daniel for joining us today. I'll be facilitating our interview. So, could you just tell our community right off the bat a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and your background in general, but also in trading?
Yeah, I'm from Austria, and yeah, I'm trading since 2012. I'm starting in the crypto market actually, and after 4 years, I stopped trading for about 5 years. And yeah, last year I made the decision that I go to academy and learn trading on Forex. Yeah, and this was my way to trading back. And yeah, I'm actually a nurse, so I work with people with mental health issues, and yeah, trading is my side business.
That's amazing. That's very cool. I'm a huge proponent of mental health advocacy, so that's incredible. So it's interesting. You had kind of a beginning journey where you traded for a while, got into crypto, then kind of got out of the game, got back into it, decided to do an academy. Tell us a little bit about the start of your journey. Like, how did you first learn about trading? What kind of made you stop? And then what made you kind of dive back in from a different approach?
I started with no knowledge actually. So I was buying crypto, waiting for support and resistance. And yeah, if I have a small profit, I take it. And if I have a loss, I was waiting to get profit again. So yeah. And after 4 years, I was stuck mentally. And I was the whole day on the phone and check the charts and have no life actually. And then I quit. Yeah. And for me, the decision was I want to do trading as a full-time job. So I start the academy and learn how to trade in the right way and get profitable. Yeah. So
Very cool. So, when you went through that academy experience, did they give you, like, a mentor? Did they teach you a different type of trading? You said you previously did crypto and then you got into Forex. Have you found that, learning process was helpful for you?
yeah, in this education, I have a mentor. And yeah, I learned everything about trading. So reading a chart like a book, we said, and yeah, you have to know what you do because you lost money so quick. And it's really important to know where to go in and where to go out. And yeah,
Yeah, so well said. There's a lot of different factors that go into being profitable as a trader, and time and time again when I'm interviewing people on here and just in general in this industry, it's always exciting and good to hear from people that they're like, "I just, like, went out there and got into it." But when we do that, we tend to learn lessons, the hard way and then kinda have to come back and regroup and figure out where our strengths and where our areas of opportunity were. But let's just talk about, like, what you most enjoy about trading. You must enjoy it since you've come back to it time and again. What do you enjoy the most about it? The freedom, the flexibility, the risk versus reward? Like, what really gets you passionate about trading?
hmm. For me, it's yeah, that I have the freedom that I want to have. I can travel, I can work from everywhere, I can work when I want. So this is the most important thing for me actually, because I don't want to do my job in the hospital the whole life. Yeah. And I come back stronger than in 2012. And yeah, now I'm knowing what to do and I have to execute the system and trust myself.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned 2012 because that was, like, right after Bitcoin first came out. I remember I was in college. If only I had had more savings at the time,
I
could have
buy
been.
Bitcoin at the price of 3,000.
Yeah. Exactly. So, tell us a little bit about your experience specifically with us at Upcomers. There's a lot of different prop trading firms. How would you describe your experience with Upcomers so far, and how long have you been with us?
I've been with Upcomers since last year, August, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, I get uh, I became a advisor on the internet. Yeah, and then I looked the conditions and I find it was good for the price. The rules are really hard, strict, I have to say, actually. Yeah, but if you can handle strict rules, you can be profitable. And yeah, that was the reason why I choose upcomers actually, because I need a small how it goes, a small circle, where I can work and have not too much flexibility. Yeah, so for
I
me
get it.
it was actually training and stay consistent and do not too big risk. Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, that's common. I think when people first get started, and even it can be just a psychological challenge, no matter how long you've been in it, to understand, like, okay, I have to be consistent, but also I don't want to overtrade. You don't want to risk too much of what you have, and then all of a sudden not have more to put in there. So, how many accounts, if you're comfortable sharing, how many accounts do you have with us? What do you really like about upcomers, and what can we improve upon?
I have actually one account at this time at Upcomers. What I really like is that you implement MetaTrader because I didn't like the other one. Yes, the dashboard is sometimes a little bit buggy, so this is what not so good is. But I hope you can fix this in the future. Yeah, and price is based on market, I think so. Yeah. You just have to follow the rules and you have to read all the rules because there are a lot of rules by upcomers. So yeah.
Yes, absolutely. The rules are there for a reason, but they're definitely extensive and it's a learning curve. Absolutely. And we appreciate your feedback on the dashboard. My team sees all of this and definitely keep that in mind. And we ensure that the people that we work with at Upcomers, the people that we hire specifically on the team are people who are traders ourselves, just to ensure that from end to end, everybody who's joining our company is just experienced in the industry so we can really cultivate the best of the best experience for our users. As briefly alluded to, and I briefly alluded to, different trading firms have different trading rules. All prop firms kind of have their own specific set of rules. How do you feel about the rules at Upcomers? And you said they're strict, there's a lot of them. This is true. How have they helped you, or have they helped you as as a trader since you've been with us?
The consistency is really low actually. Uh, so I was thinking last year we was on 30 and this year we was on 20. So yeah, for me it's not so good because 20 is, yeah, you have to do a lot, and for 30 it's a little bit better.
Mhm.
But if you know what you're doing, you can handle this. So I think it's hard in the beginning. If you're a beginner and don't can reach the consistency, then it's really, really hard. Yeah. Especially with trading drawdowns and yeah.
Very good. So, what would you recommend to someone who's perhaps a new trader who's considering working with a prop firm? Would you maybe recommend that they expand their journey solo a little bit more before joining a prop firm? Or would you say that there's enough support in a prop firm that they could, learn as they go?
They should start actually with small accounts because they would blow every big account. So I do the same thing. I blow a lot of accounts actually. Yeah. And yeah, after a break of 2 months, I started again and then it works for me because I was thinking about the system and what I'm doing and get controlled my emotions actually while trading. So yeah.
That's such a good point that I've had people bring up time and time again. For our viewers who might be listening, who might not know what you mean, what do you mean when you say getting control of your emotions while trading?
Yeah, most people trade their emotions and not what they see. So this is the biggest problem in trading, especially with beginners. They don't know what to do. They see every Instagram story. It looks like easy money, but it isn't. So yeah, and you can lost a lot of money so quick. So yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Being logical and giving yourself a set parameter and being like, if I lose this, I know it's going to hurt, but I'm going to put my phone down. I'm not going to try to make it up that day because that is where you tend
yeah.
to screw up.
No revenge trading. If you sleep bad, if you had a bad day, so don't trade. You will lost 80%.
Yeah.
Uh,
Great advice, truly. Um, so tell me a little bit about how you trade specifically. Would you describe your trading strategy? What's your approach? What do you like to trade?
My strategy is a little bit complexer. So actually I'm using SMC or ICT, and I mostly trade Nasdaq, Dow Jones and DAX.
Mm,
Yeah, it's a structured order flow based. So I combine a lot of things to get really precise entries and had a good risk to reward ratio.
very good. So, speaking of risk to reward ratio, risk management is just so important when it comes to trading. How do you manage your risk and how has it changed, increased, or decreased since the beginning of your journey and since working with upcomers?
For the biggest change in my trading was that I'm using order flow. So CVT and footprint and order book. This helped me a lot and increased the risk. Yeah, so this was the point when I get really profitable with it. So
Good. Happy to hear that. Would you say the way that you handle risk has become a game changer for you? And obviously, it's something you've had to improve along the way. How have you improved it along the way?
mm, I have to say that I'm a really aggressive scalper with the system that I use. So for me, the breakdown on a day was about 5%, 4% loss. So I quit trading for the day and start the day again. And yeah, actually I trade smaller accounts at the beginning. Now I'm trade really big accounts. And for me, it's emotionally better to have more um, daily loss. And yeah, this was actually the reason for me where I can handle my risk better. For me, it's more confident. I don't want to spend so much time in trading where the profit is really small for time. So yes.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned earlier that the thing that made you just like quit earlier, whenever you first started and you did it for a few years, and you're like, all I'm doing is spending all of my time on my phone all of the time. You feel it now in the strategy that you have and working alongside a prop from like upcomers that you've been able to reclaim some of your time back or that you're spending your time in a more profitable way? And if so, could you just explain that a bit?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, of course. So when you first started trading, you said you got to a point where you're like, I'm on my phone all day, every day. I don't have any free time and I'm wasting a lot of my time for how little money I'm making. But
Yeah.
now you seem to become more profitable. Do you feel like you have some more free time back? You're not spending as much time on your phone and that you're making more while spending less time on your phone?
Yeah.
And could you just
Yeah.
explain that
Yeah.
a little?
Yeah. I'm trade to fixed times. So I trade in the morning from 7 to 10:30
Mhm.
and the New York opening. So I have enough time between so I can do other stuff, what I want. And yeah.
That's great. That's awesome. It's always good to see that flexibility. Now, you also work in mental health as a nurse full time, and this is something that you do part time. Do you have any kinds of specific goals for this year on things that you'd like to achieve regarding your trading goals?
Actually, I reached all my goals. So yeah, in a few months, I got a trade at the company. So yeah, I go in education and learn people how to trade actually. So everything was fine. It was really nice.
That's
It
great.
was it was a hard way to to become this knowledge. Yeah. So and I want to give people something back. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can take sometimes, what does Carl Jung say? We find our destiny on the path we take to avoid it. Even though sometimes we're trying to achieve things, sometimes it takes a little bit of stepping away from something and coming back to it to finally be like, okay, this is where it clicks. Um, is there anything you'd like to share as advice for our traders who may be struggling to succeed or become profitable in the prop trading industry?
Yeah, there are a lots of things actually. I've seen with my own clients, you have to watch other people's trade, especially the elites. Yeah, you can find videos on YouTube everywhere and look what they do, how they read data actually. Yeah, data is the most important thing, and if you find the right system, you have to try a system for not for a week or for a month, so for 3, 4 months and execute precisely. And if it doesn't work, then change the system, but don't change system every week so you can't get profit. And don't trade 5 assets. Concentrate on one, max 2. Finish. You don't need more.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's so common. I think people, like you said, when you see it on Instagram, it's like get rich quick and
Yeah.
anything like that should always stop you in your tracks and be like, hold on. Got to really break it down into a strategy that works in it and it does. It takes time to learn. What's the biggest benefit that you've seen working with prop firms or working with upcomers as opposed to trading solo? What are the biggest benefits you've seen?
You don't have to spend your own money. So you pay the challenge, and yeah, if you can handle, you had a nice capital to work with, and yeah, sometimes you'll be lost and otherwise you will win. So that's the thing on platform actually. So that's the reason why they're out there. I think
Yeah,
nobody has,
absolutely.
not everybody has 100,000 on a bank account and can trade. So you can trade 1% from 100,000. So yeah,
Yeah, it gives you more wiggle room with your capital, absolutely. Have you worked with other, and you don't have to say their names or anything. Have you worked with other prop trading firms other than upcomers? And if so, kind of what are the reasons you like upcomers better or vice versa?
I work a lot with other prop firms. Yeah, for me, it's actually upcomers. I start with it, so I have my funded account and push it. So I made over 20% in 1 month on my account, so
That's
everything
awesome.
works fine.
Good. Happy to hear it. So you've achieved your most recent set of goals. That's awesome. Congratulations. Do you have any, are you moving the goalposts now? Any new goals for like Q2 or Q3 of this year?
Hmm, to stay profitable, actually. Yeah, and do this all day long. So this is what I want, and I spend so much time and energy in it that, yeah, there is no way out for me.
That's great. Hey, I share that goal as a business owner myself. Yeah, stay profitable is always a great goal. If you're achieving that, hey, who cares about the rest to an extent? It's a good goal. It is.
Don't
Um,
break the rules, yeah. Execute the
yes,
system, change nothing, never touch a running system. So, yeah.
change nothing. Keep it networking, follow the rules. It's true. Whether you're in trading or whatever industry you're in, whether you're in a company, you're working on a platform, everybody has a set of rules. And as someone with ADHD, I've always been warned since I was a kid, like, that's gonna be a struggle for you. It is, and it can be a struggle for anyone. You have to really be thorough when it comes to following rules, but it's like anything else, the more you practice it and have those losses that happen along the way, though hopefully those are all behind both of us, um, it really helps them to stick so that you don't make the same mistake twice.
Yeah.
Um, Based on everything that you've learned since you first started back in 2012, gosh, I was in college then. What advice would you give your past self if you could?
Actually, had to start earlier academy or education. So yeah, I think
Start
this is the most important thing, and you have to watch out where you do this education because there are a lot of guys out there. They know not really much about it. Yeah, they want your money, and yeah, you learn nothing. Yeah, so this is a really great advice for all traders, especially in the beginning.
Absolutely. And if you were giving advice to someone about like how do you know? And of course this may just take experience, but how can you tell someone who might be a mentor or an academy that's legit from someone who says they're legit but doesn't actually know what they're talking about? Are there any good like red flags or tells that help you to be able to tell whether someone's legit or just kind of phony?
Yeah, I personally um would take academy by someone who know what is order flow and order book actually, because that's the only thing you have to know at trading, and the whole other stuff is, yeah, it doesn't make you profitable. So no FEGs, no ICT, no SMC. If you don't combine things together, it doesn't work. You
Very
have to
well.
understand how the market moves, where the big players are in, what levers are really interesting for you as a trader, and where you want to trade and when you don't want to trade. So these are the most important things.
Absolutely. Are there any, yeah, final closing words or comments you'd like to share with the community? Any kind of advice, any tips, anything before I ask your final question?
Any tips? Yeah, don't break your rules. If you break, yeah, stop trading for a day, 2 days, come back and execute the system. So
Yeah, cut and dry. Stick to the plan, work the plan, and the plan works you. Very good. Thank you so much for your time, Daniel. We really appreciate it.